Hello and welcome back to the next video in our series of the elements of art. This video series is for Art 1, and if you miss our first lesson, which was over the elements of art line, then you will want to go back and watch that because line actually leads directly into shape. So let's go ahead and get started. Shape is what happens whenever a line, so a line starts at one point, goes to another point, and a connection between the two, so a line. Shape is what happens whenever a line either comes back and whoop, meets itself, or it goes and intersects other lines. Basically, a shape is what happens whenever a line gets closed off. Then it makes a shape. Now, there's two different types of shapes. It's a geometric shape and an organic shape. Those are the two different types. They're very easy to remember, even though the names are a little complicated. See, geometric is kind of a complicated name, but the way that it's classified is really easy to understand. If you can think of a shape that is a standard shape that you remember from elementary school, from your childhood, if you can recognize it as a shape, it's a geometric shape more than likely. For instance, a square, a rectangle, a triangle, a circle, all of those are geometric shapes. So what the word geometric means is it comes from the word geometry, and geometry is basically math. So all of the shapes that you see on the screen right now are geometric shapes, which means they are created using math. So you can use math to create a square, a rectangle, a triangle, a circle. You can use it to recreate those infinitely, and it's very easy to do that using math. That's what geometric shapes mean. A very easy way to remember what a geometric shape is, if it has a point, if it has an angle, or if it's a circle. If it's a shape that you recognize, it's a geometric shape. Now, organic shape is completely the opposite. An organic shape is something that is very free form, very fluid. It doesn't really match anything that you recognize as being a classic shape. Organic comes from the word, well, organic. It means natural or in nature. And organic shape, it symbolizes something that you would see in nature because everything in nature is unique. It's one of a kind. If you pick up a leaf and you look at a leaf and then you compare it to another leaf, yes, they're both leaves, but they're different. They're very different. Everything in nature, nothing is identical. And organic shapes is exactly the same way. An organic shape would be very difficult for you to recreate if you had to recreate it. A great example that I like to give my students is if you imagine yourself walking into a parking lot and there's a puddle there and there's some oil over top of it or something like that, and it makes all those really pretty colors, kind of like a rainbow. All of those real swirly shapes that it has in there are organic shapes. So those are the two types of shapes. Let me explain why shapes are important to artists. Well, as an artist, we try to break everything down around us in the world into basic shapes, and it helps us draw. It helps us create things. And the reason for that, if you were to look at this image right here of the apples, you would look at that and you say, okay, it's the three apples, whoop-de-doo. And what if I tell you, you need to draw that? Well, there's going to be quite a few of you that's going to go, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to draw that? That's like three apples. I mean, look at the colors, look at the shapes, look at the shading on there. And what the heck is that stuff down there? The lace, and I'm not doing that. Don't forget it. I ain't going to do it. Well, all you have to think, yes, it's an apple, but it's just basic shapes. That's all it is. For instance, this right here. If you look at this, yes, it's an apple, but it's a circle. That's all it is. It's a circle. So we just draw a circle right there. And you come over here and look, there's another circle and another circle. Boom, you got all three of your apples done. Well, it doesn't really look like an apple. Okay, add a little triangle right there for the stem. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, jump over here, add a rectangle. Boop, boop, boop. That's all it is. Well, what about the lace down at the bottom? All those are organic shapes. Just little paisley shapes. Just whoop, boop, 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 add those in. And then guess what? once you add in your basic shapes, all that's left is a coloring book page. Most of your work's already done and you didn't have to do anything. You just broke it down into basic shapes. And that's why shapes are important to artists. Artists use shapes to help them. You don't have to go straight into this artwork with the apples and expect it to look like an apple as soon as you start. You start with basic shapes, and then you build those up and make it into whatever you want to draw. So now that we have looked at what basic shapes are, what the organic shapes and geometric shapes, and how artists can use them, I have a couple questions for you. So I want you to pause the video, take a good look at this picture, and I want you to answer this question. Are the shapes in this picture organic or geometric? Do you think you have your answer? Well, the correct answer is they are all organic. The reason why is because they would be very difficult to recreate. If you were to go in and try to tear these pieces of paper exactly the same and recreate them, it'd be very difficult. So they are organic shapes. Well, what about this artwork? Is this organic shapes or geometric shapes? Well, while the subject matter itself is organic, being a bird, in actuality, it is made up entirely of geometric shapes. Geometric shapes of rectangles, triangles, circles. Basically, it's all shapes that you recognize. So there's triangles, there's rectangles, and there's shapes with sharp angles and corners and circles. They're all geometric shapes. Okay, what about this artwork? Is this geometric or is it organic? The correct answer is it's both, because you have both geometric shapes right here with the rectangle, and the circle, and the squares, and then you also have the organic shapes with the little paisley thing right there, the jelly bean up in the corner, and the booger right over there. There's no other way to put it. Okay, one final image. Is this geometric or is it organic? The correct answer is both. And the reason why, the entire picture is made up of geometric shapes, except for one giant organic shape that is literally staring you right in the face. Iron Man himself is one giant organic shape. Okay, so that leads me to your assignment. Your assignment for today and the next day, because this is a 45-minute class, the way I have this classroom structured. So it's an hour and a half lesson, 2 lessons, well, 2 class periods, so hour and a half. Your assignment for today, you are going to be taking construction paper and you're going to be cutting out a minimum of 10 shapes, and you're going to be gluing them down on the paper to make an artwork. So you're going to need scissors, safety scissors if you have them. If not, please get an adult if you are not old enough to use scissors on your own. You're going to need some kind of glue, preferably stick glue or Elmer's glue, and be sure to clean up your mess. You don't want to leave sticky glue mess everywhere. And then you are also going to want to have a blank piece of paper, either construction paper or white paper or something like that, that you can glue this stuff down to. You are going to be making your very own artwork using only organic and geometric shapes, and that's it. So you need to cut out your shapes, glue them down, and make your artwork any way that you want to make it. It can be non-representational, like this artwork, and you can even see that they didn't just use paper, they also used some felt right there. So you can use fabric if you want. Or you can have it be where emotional art, where you're trying to convey a feeling. You know, you can have some stuff that you recognize, some you don't, kind of abstract art. You can also do representational art, such as this. This artwork by a student makes a tree. And then we also have this one by a student who made a flower. And then you could also do some sci-fi work if you want. I actually love this piece as one of my students' works. I think that they did a great job. And actually, I'm in the way right now, but they actually have a little pink flamingo right there. And it's pretty neat. I like this artwork. So yeah, your assignment, you're going to be making your very own artwork using nothing but geometric and organic shapes. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything like that, leave a comment down below. Let me know. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to follow along with us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you all very much.